With the superior exit speed, we were able to make the move on Esteban Ocon and make our way back up into P1. However, things aren't going to be quite as straightforward as that, because unfortunately our engine has failed. I really was frustrated about this. I cannot express how frustrated I was about this situation, because that has basically meant that you know, all this battling we were doing, this amazing battle that we were having with Esteban Ocon is going to go completely unrewarded for us, as we hold him up quite a bit and actually back him into Logan Sargent. Meanwhile, our teammate is in P4, inherits P4 as a result of my retirement, so hopefully he can at least get himself back onto the podium. The strategy wasn't fantastic for Charles Leclerc this time, so yeah, I hope to see him at least make one more position, maybe on Logan Sargent, as he will start to drop back as the game simulates the rest of the race. But yeah, really immensely frustrating not to even walk away from this race with a point, never mind the race win. Given how we were looking in the race, we were definitely going to be on for at least P2 there. We were fighting tooth and nail with Esteban Ocon, but our drive is going to go unrewarded. But here comes Oscar Piastri making his move around the outside through the final few corners as we make our way into the last corner. I'm going to try and dive back up the inside of him if we can. We just about managed to get the car slowed down in time for the corner, and I think unless Oscar Piastri can do anything with the DRS now, it is going to be him having to settle for P5. We crossed the line to take P4, and I think Sonoda ended up getting 6th there. So that's an incredible result for the Alfa Romeo driver there. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that result. I'm pleased with the P4 because it is the best result we've ever had here. Sonoda rightfully gets driver of the day, and man, I need to take a breath. But here we go, less than 2/10 is the gap between myself and Hauger now. He's looking for a move around the outside for some reason though, and that could have cost Hauger the victory today. Why was he going to the outside? There was no space there. If he'd have looked up the inside, he might have found it, and he might have found the move into the lead to take the lead on the final lap of the Australian Grand Prix. But instead, unless he can out-drag me to the line with the DRS, Dennis Hauger, he is going to suffer now, and he's going to have to settle for P2 as we cross the line to take P1 in the Australian Grand Prix. What a shame for Dennis Hauger, who I'm sure would have felt like he probably had enough in the tank to win this one today. But it is instead going to be going the way of Jaguar Racing and myself. We take our team's first victory of Season 7, and hopefully this can inspire the start of a winning run. I can't let him get past and then utilise the DRS and the superior downforce to make the overtake back on him. I'm going to need to actually hold on to the position this time, and you can see as we make our way towards the hairpin, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that. Alex Albon diving up the inside. Who's got the better grip on the exit of the corner? I think it's me on this occasion, actually, and that might have been Alex Albon's last opportunity to take P6 in the race. As we round the final corner, it was George Russell who won the race, but we are going to cross the line to take P6, and a solid hard-earned 8 points considering everything that's happened here today. I was kind of surprised that we were that competitive here in China compared to previous years, but I am still pretty happy with the result. Esteban Ocon driver of the day, and it is P6 for us. But there will still be one more DRS zone and one more opportunity for Hauger to catch us. How quick is the man from Norway feeling today? Is he thinking that he can make up 8/10 in the space of one straight? Well, he's already made up about a tenth or so before we've even got to the DRS zone. He'll have a bit of time in the DRS zone before the finish line comes up. But at the moment, I just seem to be getting further and further away from him. He doesn't challenge us, and we take P3 in the sprint here today. It was P1 for Esteban Ocon. I believe it was Frederick Vesti in P2 there as well. So yeah, he'll be very happy with that. Potentially injecting himself into the championship fight as well, the Dane. And like I said, yeah, it's P3 for us. So yeah, well, it turns out that I don't have to do any mistakes for me to be out of the race, because that's a mechanical failure that's just flashed up on my screen. And yeah, I mean, what is this? We're on a 97 reliability engine at the moment. I know it's Ferrari, but still, 97 reliability. And somehow that's 2 mechanical failures in the first 5 races. Unless there's no mechanical failures for the rest of the season, something seriously is amiss here, because this should not be happening at this frequency, especially not this early on in the season. 97 reliability, and that's what I get given. At least, unlike the last times on last year's game when I retired in Baku, it hasn't sent me flying straight into the wall there. So yeah, I don't really know why the reliability is like this. I have my theories and my suspicions, which maybe I'll discuss in a second, but I mean, look, this is just completely unacceptable from you know, an engine manufacturer who we're paying a premium. They are the most expensive engine manufacturer on the grid at the moment, and you're telling me that they can't even make a car that doesn't blow up you know, less than 2 times in 5 races. It's an absolute joke, and it needs to be improved sooner rather than later. We get our second track limits warning of the race. We got our first one on lap 3, our last one on lap 29. I don't think there's a position we can really get track limits warnings from here on out, so we should be okay as far as penalties are concerned. But with the DRS, we are not catching Logan Sargent quickly enough right now. We're going to have a little bit of battery and some DRS to try and get him on the line, but the line comes up quite quickly here, so I don't really know if it's going to be feasible to get ahead of Logan Sargent here. And you can see as we round the final corner, we're going to have to settle for P2. But we have a 10-second advantage now, which with Fittipaldi behind, I think is unlikely that we're going to lose an advantage this strong. So yeah, we're going to make our way onto lap 19 and hopefully... Oh, you have to be joking me. There's no way. 3 times in 7 races. This is a practical joke. It's a practical joke. Ferrari were like, oh, we can't possibly have one of our customer teams outperforming us at our home race, so we're going to absolutely sabotage them. I wouldn't be surprised if Leclerc somehow ends up DNFing as well, even though he literally DNF'd in the previous race. Literally had a component change in the previous race. This is utterly ridiculous. I've had 3 mechanical failures in 7 races. Bahrain, Baku, and here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix as well. 2 of them when I was racing for the lead. This is 65 points. Potentially. Maybe you could even make a case for 68 if you want to include fastest lap point as well. But 65 minimum points that I have been deprived of due to mechanical issues so far this season. It's an absolute disgrace. No understanding whatsoever as to how this has happened. It was just the tyres just overheating. I guess maybe the track temperature was higher than it was last time we raced here or something like that. But yeah, just really confusing. And I don't understand at all how it's happened. But we did manage to hold off Jack Doolan on the final lap at least. So we will be coming home across the line in P4. We'll get some kind of points reward for what was a very tricky race. But I mean, really, that should have been a lot more than it was. And yeah, I don't really have an explanation as to why it wasn't that way. So I think we have a really good opportunity to take the victory here. Now we're just cruising to the finish line, making sure that we don't make any silly mistakes, and everything should be absolutely fine to grab the victory as we round the final corner, and we are going to take the checkered flag first. It's P1 here in the Spanish Grand Prix, and finally we get a victory at this circuit. Very happy with that. Hopefully we can continue a bit of a race winning form now. Only our 2nd victory of the season in 9 races as well. So driver of the day for our efforts as well. I feel like we did deserve that because we raced very hard to get back into this position. Another retirement for the Ferraris as well. It feels like we can't even go 1 race without having a Ferrari retiring at the moment. It must be infuriating for the team, but you know, it is interesting to see from our perspective as well that Ferrari just seem to be completely capitulating with an incredibly talented driver lineup of Verstappen and Perez. But as we round the final corner, we're going to cross the line to take P1 in the sprint, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to take that result and we'll be able to convert it into another victory tomorrow in the race as well. Meanwhile, driver of the day is going to go to Esteban Ocon, who I guess had a pretty good race there, and yeah, it is P1 for us. 1.4 seconds. It seems like he has stayed ahead of Lando Norris, but he won't have the DRS on me, crucially, as Lando Norris will have the DRS on the Red Bull, but he can't quite get the move done. So it will be Ocon in P2 for the time being, and this has given us at least a little bit of respite here in this race. Not a lot, because I think Ocon will break back into my DRS range as long as he doesn't get held up further by the chasing pack of Ocon, Norris, Piastri and Russell. And it's another mechanical failure. Is this a joke? You actually couldn't write this. You couldn't write this. This is the 10th race of the goddamn season, man. The 10th race of the season, and it's my 4th mechanical failure. If you include sprint races, this is still only the 12th competitive racing session that we have done this season, which means it is 1 mechanical failure per 3 sessions we're running on at the moment, which is an absolute joke. This is comedy. This is comedy of the highest degree. I genuinely do not understand how it is even possible that the car has broken down this much. This is the Ferrari powertrain for you. I'm so sure that the game has got it scripted. You know, Ferrari powertrain equals mechanical failure more often than not, because it happens to the Ferraris as well. They've had so many DNFs this season. I've not really been paying attention to Haas and Alfa Romeo, whether they've had good reliability or not. But I mean, look, this is just absolutely infuriating, and it's killing my championship chances. But he might not even need the DRS zone to make the overtake, because he's looking for a move into Maggotts and Beckers. We're going wheel to wheel right now. Who is going to be ahead into the DRS detection point? It's me. I think he might have absolutely clowned himself there. If he'd have had the DRS, this would have been Albon's race to lose at that point, at least his P2 to lose, I should say. But now, with the DRS and with the battery, we're able to keep him behind on the run into Stowe. And as we round the final few corners, I don't think he's going to be able to make this happen now. Obviously, he is faster than me on the exit through some of these corners, so he could potentially out-traction me to the line. But as George Russell wins the race and we round the final few corners, we're going to cross the line to take P2 here in the British Grand Prix. I'm very happy with that because, yeah, I really didn't know whether we were going to be able to hold on to that position even after we'd taken it off Albon. Lawson gets driver of the day, but really it should be Logan Sargent for absolutely pocketing me earlier in the race. He's still got one more DRS zone, of course. If he gets me on the line after I've been leading for the entirety of my second stint, effectively, I will be absolutely livid. I will be devastated because, you know, we have looked dead set to win this race today, just on the basis of the performance and the pace that we've been showing, and also the strategy as well. The strategy was pretty good, so all in all, I've been very, very happy. But will Logan Sargent have enough to get us over the line? No. He was 2 tenths away in the end. It was a very close one, but we've held on. I think if there'd been one more lap here today, it could have gone a different way, and Logan Sargent may have booked me. But fortunately, we held on, and that will be another victory in this season for us. I think if there'd have been one more lap, I think Norris would have got P2 here instead, and the strategy would have been worth it. And if there had been a couple more laps, we might even be looking at him mounting an attack on me as well. But as things stand, it is going to be Norris having to settle into P3. But as we round the final corner here, we have done everything we needed to, and we've got back-to-back victories in Formula 1. It's P1 at the Hungarian Grand Prix once again in my career. I've had wins here before, and this will be a nice way to add to that tally. Very happy with how I managed that race. Good strategy, good driving, good pace, and yeah, hopefully we can keep the good times rolling. And now you can see Lando Norris is closing me down quite significantly. We may have to settle for P3 here by the looks of things. I wouldn't be too sad if that were the case, because ultimately, you know, if we'd have stayed on the strategy we were running before, if we hadn't have boxed under the safety car, I don't even know if we'd have been looking at, I think we'd have been looking at 8th here potentially. I think that would have been the best performance that we could have put up. So yeah, the safety car kind of allowing me to deliver a pretty good strategy here today. And as we round the final corner, we've actually gone very wide there, so that might invite Lando Norris into the question for P2. It's going to be a very comfortable Charles Leclerc victory, but it is going to be P2 for us. Lando Norris couldn't get close enough. And, well, if you'd have offered me that at the start of the weekend, I would have bitten your arm off. Yes, of course, I would have liked to have won it, given that I did start on pole position, but I think that there is no shame in finishing P2, extending my championship lead. I kind of resigned myself to the fact that we weren't going to be scoring points today, which, you know, is a real shame, because I definitely feel like we had the potential to. I definitely was racing well enough to warrant scoring a few points here today. Yes, it wasn't going to be my best race of the season by any stretch of the imagination, but to walk away from it without even 1 point is a bit sad, to be honest with you. I definitely feel like we could have done it if not for that red flag kind of messing us up. But you know, that's Formula 1. You've got to take the good with the bad, and we're going to come up to the line to take P11. Yeah, all things considered, we controlled things nicely. Yes, we were unfortunate to get undercut in the pit stop phase. I'm usually the one doing the undercut. On this occasion, didn't work out for me. DRS has been enabled, but it might just be too little too late unless Esteban Ocon punts me at this corner like I did to him. I can't remember if that was on this year's game or not. It was so long ago now. It honestly just all feels like a blur. But there was a situation where I did do that once upon a time. It doesn't matter though, as we round the final corner, we're going to cross the line to take P6 here in Singapore. A decent result, not the best result we could have got. Having started P8, I'll take it though. I'm very very pleased to have outperformed one of the Red Bulls, and for Charles Leclerc to get back in the points is not too bad either. So hopefully we can keep building on this for the final few races of the season. So as we come on the run down to Spoon, I'm just going to try and stay with him, and then hopefully out of the exit of Spoon into 130R, I'll be able to get ahead of the Dutch driver in the AlphaTauri here. We slam on the ERS, and I think we've just about done it, but actually Nick De Vries is going to start coming back at us now on the run to 130R, and he's got the outside line, so he's under no commitment to keep me, keep me alongside him or anything like that. We try to go up the inside of him here, but we get it all wrong, and we actually exceed track limits, so we've got to be careful now, because we only have one warning left. Not that it's going to matter, because our car, once again in this season, has broken down at the worst possible moment. This is now 4 wins that have been robbed from me as a result of this, and also another podium finish. 5 mechanical failures this season is just a travesty. I thought we'd put this behind us. I thought we'd improve the reliability. We hadn't had a mechanical failure in several races. It's been, the Austrian Grand Prix was the last time, but we have now, as a result of this, lost over 100 points this season due to mechanical failures. You couldn't make this up, man. Every time, it's only ever when I'm winning the races that I've had so many races recently where I've not been winning, I've not looked like an odds-on favourite to win it. I wouldn't have minded too much having a mechanical failure. If it had to happen, I would have much preferred it to happen at a race like Singapore or at Monza or something like that. But no, it's happened here in Japan, and Alex Albon is pretty close to us, so we could see a bit of a challenge from him potentially. Is he going to go up the inside into the final corner? No, he's not, but he will have the DRS down the final straight. Will he be close enough to close us down? 4 tenths is the gap. It's coming down rapidly, less than 2 tenths, less than 1 tenth, and we just, I think, beat him to the line there. That was super close. I want to see what that gap was, because that was very, very close, but we have taken the sprint victory here. There's only 6 points for Russell, who only comes home in P3 as well. So, yeah, we catch him slightly in the championship off the back of the sprint. Yeah, only a handful of corners left to go now, and we might actually be able to do this. We're at 81% as we make it into this absolute hell segment of fast right-handers. You can see I am not going particularly fast through here anymore at all, having to lift off the engine a little bit to make sure that we don't go over the track, because if we do, we'll get a track limits warning. Here comes Charles Leclerc around the outside of us, and we've got a puncture on the front right tyre now. We just about made it round the final corner before we experienced the puncture, but in doing so, we've actually held up Charles Leclerc there as well. That's allowed Albon to get back past him, and we're going to have to take P4 in this race. We lose a couple positions at the death of the race with this puncture. There won't be much rubber to pick up by the looks of things, but a P4 is what we were looking at before we suddenly started going on that tear at the end of the race. If it hadn't been for the tyre wear, who knows what we might have been able to do today. But George Russell is going to look for a move to the outside on the final lap of the race. We've not had any pressure from him up till this point, and finally he decides he's going to go for a move, but he can't quite get it done around the outside. I think the soft compact tyres maybe have gone off just a tad too much for George Russell to be able to use them to the effect that he would like, and as a result we are going to be able to hold on to this now. As long as we don't make any big blunders in the final few corners, everything should be absolutely fine for us to win the sprint and close the gap to George Russell by just a single solitary point. But a point is a point. If I win the championship by 1 point, then we'll know that this was the race that made the difference. So as we round the final corner, we're going to cross the line. It's going to be P1 here in the sprint today. I am very, very happy with that, but we need to keep some perspective. Of course, there will be another race this weekend, a full length race with full points awarded, so we need to now focus on making sure we win that one as well. And now, as we make our way towards the end of the full race, it looks like it's going to be the same situation for George Russell, who I might be wrong, but I think has won 3 races on the bounce now. So George Russell really starting to look dominant and hitting a great run of form as we hit Charles Leclerc. The only thing we're going to be hitting is our own teammate apparently today. We've made a bit of damage to our front wing as well, so I'm fortunate to even be ahead of Leclerc here. But with this damage, could he potentially overtake us? I don't know. I think we were lucky not to give him a puncture, to be honest with you, with how hard we hit him. It would have been very easy for that to happen. George Russell crosses the line first to take the victory here in Kota, and the best result that we can possibly get now is going to be a second place finish. But Charles Leclerc is still coming back at us up the inside into the final corner, but he doesn't quite have the traction on the exit of the corner, so we are going to cross the line to take P2, but that is an 8-point swing in favour of George Russell. And, you know, we are now going to need some very, very big and I would argue even overperforming results in the final 4 races if we want to win our 3rd World Championship in succession. And we are starting to close up to Dennis Hauger as well. The gap is coming down slowly now. We're only a few laps away from our pit stop on lap 15 as well. And of course, we won't be getting that undercut on the soft compound runners either. So, yeah, we're going to have to try and do everything we can to close the gap to Hauger on track, and I'll have to probably overtake him on track as well. Sargent is currently running in P4 now, and we've had a mechanical failure again. Why of all the races did it have to be now? You know, it happened in Japan when I was leading the race, and it's happened here when I'm in P2. This Ferrari engine does not have the durability that it advertised. It just simply doesn't. You know, we had, what, 2-3 mechanical failures every season before this one. I can't think of a season where we had more than 3 mechanical failures. This is number 6. This is number 6 here in Season 7. This is absolutely ridiculous. And that probably is going to gift the championship to George Russell. I can't see a world in which we can come back from that now. He is going to be so far ahead of us in the championship. I don't know. We will have to just pray that we get lucky for the last 3 races of the season. This is just completely beyond any kind of comprehension I could have had. This is the stars have aligned here in Portugal, quite frankly, and now it might be championship back on, quite frankly. That's all I can say. Championship is well and truly back on with 3 races, or I'd say 2 races now left to go. There is a real opportunity as we cross the line to win the Portuguese Grand Prix. Could Hauger go for a move on the McLaren driver up onto the podium? Could Russell potentially go for a move on Piastri as well? Is he close enough? We'll have to wait and see as we make our way into the braking zone. I think we've survived here, 1.3 seconds ahead of Frederick Vesti. Surely nothing is going to stop us now. A bit of dueling between Hauger and Piastri. Hopefully they can keep it clean and keep it ahead of George Russell. George Russell is still involved in that fight, but as we round the final corner, we're going to cross the line to win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. That is by far the most incredible, amazing, I would argue legendary race we have ever done on a Formula 1 game in My Team career mode. I am speechless at that. Ocon came back through to get points, so he does get driver of the day, but what a race. So all we've got to do is just hold on to the lead for the rest of the race, and we should be walking away with both championships. But unfortunately, it is going to be another mechanical failure in this season. That is our 7th mechanical failure in this season, and this is probably the most heartbreaking way to lose a championship imaginable. In the final race, we did everything. We did absolutely everything we needed to do, and it just wasn't enough. No matter what we tried this season, you know, there were so many occasions where we were on for big points, and if even one of those had come through, then it would have been a world championship for me instead. But as things stand, it is going to be George Russell being crowned the world champion. There's nothing I can do about it now. Red Bull will be winning the Constructors as well, and as a result of this, we will be leaving our final season in Formula 1 without winning a single trophy, and that is probably the most brutal way I think I have ever ended a season of Formula 1.
It's certainly been an incredible year for Formula 1, and our drivers have pushed themselves this season, making it one of the most compelling years of racing in history. There can only be one champion, however, and here they are now, our new Formula 1 World Drivers' Champion.
What is up, everyone, and thank you so much for sitting through the recap of Season 7 of our Jaguar Racing career. We are at the end of the series now, and I wasn't going to do like a post-recap wrap-up type thing, but I thought I would hop on here just to say thank you so much to everyone who supported me through the last, 166 videos on this channel, all the way through F123. You know, it's been a hell of a journey. And you know, I just am incredibly grateful. The subscriber count on this channel, I think, has more than doubled in this game's life cycle, which was absolutely amazing and completely unprecedented. It'd be interesting to see if the same thing happens for F124 or not. Just in the background here, you can see me doing all the post-season stuff. You know, we're getting to the bottom of the mechanical failure we had in the final race. It was a difficult way to lose the championship, but you know, it just leaves me going into F124 feeling more hungry for success and that kind of thing. But yeah, in terms of what's coming down the pipeline in the next couple of days, I'm hoping this video is coming out on Saturday, in which case there will be no video tomorrow. For the first time in a very long time on this channel, actually, will be a day where we go without a video. And then on Monday, I'm going to be putting out a video sort of detailing what my plans for the next sort of few months to a year are in terms of this channel. And then on Tuesday, obviously, we'll be starting the career mode. So yeah, you can look forward to that, and hopefully you guys will stick around and enjoy that series as you have enjoyed this one as well, I hope. In terms of teammate renewal, it's not really important, but I decided to sign Ayumu Iwasa to the team, actually, just because I saw that his rating was really high and that he was a free agent, and I was like, man, this guy needs to be in Formula 1. You know, his prime is being wasted a little bit. But yeah, we end our career with I think 32 wins. I'm not quite sure. I probably should have looked at my sort of overall page. Probably less pole positions because qualifying has not been my strong suit on this year's game. I've had a lot of sessions where I kind of, you know, felt like I could contend for pole but didn't get it, but then I showed the pace in the race to actually be able to contend for it. So yeah, like I said, we finish with however many race wins that is. 7 wins over the course of this season. I don't know. I think it's 8 as a team over the course of this season, because I think Charles Leclerc got just the 1. Not that we'll be able to see, obviously, because we have Iwasa as our teammate now. But yeah, 8 wins as a constructor over the course of this season. Only 2 wins over the course of our entire team's life cycle that weren't my own, both of which were Charles Leclerc, 1 in Season 6, 1 in Season 7. And yeah, frustratingly, we just weren't able to bag a Constructors' Trophy. So we finish our time in Formula 1 with 2 Drivers' Championships and 1 Constructors' Trophy over the course of these last 7 seasons, which is not quite the haul that we had on F122. But, you know, hopefully we will be able to do even better on F124. But that will be it for this video. So if you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe. And hopefully I will see you in F124.